At the end of the conversation, she said, Zig, she said, I believe this woman thinks she's got an impossible problem, but I believe you can solve that problem with her in just a few minutes if you will spend that time with her. I said, well, Laurie, tell her to meet me backstage. I'll get there about 10 minutes early. My schedule was such that was about all I had. Well, I got there, and I was on backstage behind the curtain on one side. She spotted me from the other side, and as she walked across the stage, I have never seen as much anger in a human being in my life as I saw in her. She almost started crying when she saw me. She said, oh, I'm just so glad to see you. I got this horrible job. I hate it. I hate everything about it. I hate everybody down there. I mean, you talking about negative nails, she was it. She said, can you help me? Now, understand, I've only got about 10 minutes. So I looked at her, and one thing I have learned, I don't do counseling, but I talk with a lot of people who do, in psychology, psychiatry, and the ministry. And they tell me that everybody who comes to you with a problem are not necessarily looking for a solution. I couldn't understand that for a long time. Why do they bring you a problem if they don't want to solve it? Well, I can tell you why. They want to tell you about it, you about it, you about it, you about it, and you about it. And if you foul up the deal and solve the problem, they can't tell you again, you again. They want the attention that goes with the problem, and every company just about it has that kind of an individual. They want the attention that goes with griping and complaining. Well, I looked at the lady, and it wasn't unkindly, but firmly I said to her, yes, and you know, ma'am, I'm afraid your problem is about to get worse. She said, what do you mean? I said, I believe they're going to fire you. She was stunned. I couldn't have stunned her more if I'd hit her in the face with a bucket of ice water. She said, fire me? Why on earth would they fire me? The inflection in her voice clearly said, they're the bad guys, I'm the good guy. Why don't they fire them and keep me? Have you ever noticed that people who are the problem never recognize that they are? They're in complete denial. They think denial is just a river in Egypt. Why would they fire me? I said, ma'am, I don't believe there's a company in America big enough to contain this much poison in one small spot. Have you ever noticed that when somebody is about to lose something they've been complaining about, whether it's a car, a home, a mate, a job, or whatever, when all of a sudden it appears they're going to lose them, it takes on brand new value. She looked at me and said, well, what can I do? I said, do you really want to know? She said, yes, I do. That's the reason I came to see you. I came looking for help, but you sure haven't been any help so far. I said, well, ma'am, I've got an idea, and I will absolutely guarantee you it positively, definitely, absolutely will work if you will just do it. She said, I'll try anything within reason. I said, okay, when you get home tonight, all of your household tasks are complete. It's bedtime. Get off in a room right by yourself. Get a sheet of paper out, and at the top of it, write, I like my job because. She interrupted me. She said, that'll be easy. I don't like nothing about that job. Don't like nothing about those people down there. And I said, well, just as a matter of curiosity, do you work there for benevolent reasons, or do they pay you for working there? She said, well, I got to confess, they pay me. And I said, and you don't like to be paid? Oh, she said, yes, I do. I said, okay, tell you what you do. Open your notebook right now. We'll start our list of the things you like about your job. They pay you for working there, and you do like it, don't you? She said, absolutely. But she just stood there. I said, no, open your notebook now, and we'll get busy on the list. She just stood there. I said, ma'am, let me tell you what my experience in life has been. I've discovered that in 100% of the cases, no exceptions, people who won't take step number one never take step number two. You see, she had come to me with an impossible dream. Her dream was that nice Mr. Ziegler was going to solve all of her problems, and she would live happily ever after. But folks, I got news for you. I can't solve her problems. I can't solve your problems. But I will give you some steps that I'll absolutely, definitely, and positively will work for you, as it worked eventually for her. I said, well, ma'am, let me tell you something. Unless you're willing to take step number one right now, it's been nice talking with you. She angrily opened her notebook. Before we got through, there were 22 things she liked about her job. Not only did they pay her for working there, they paid her above average. She had 3 weeks vacation with pay. She had a retirement program. She was in on profit sharing. She had health insurance, life insurance, and accident insurance. She lived less than 10 minutes from home. She was in on management decisions. The company sent her to 3 seminars a year to be paid for. She had her own private office and parking place. 22 things that she liked about her job. Now I said, man, when you get home tonight, everything is finished. Get off in a room right by yourself. Close the doors, change one word from I like my job to I love my job. Get in front of that mirror, and folks, I cannot say this strongly enough, but I'm going to try. The eyes are the windows of the soul. Look yourself in the eye, and with excitement and enthusiasm, say, I love my job because they pay me for working there. I love my job because they pay me above average for working there. I love my job because I have a wonderful insurance program. I love my job before every one of the statements. You will sleep better that night. You see, there's something hidden in what I'm saying to you now. When she says, I like my job, she's really saying, I'm grateful for my job. And of all of the emotions we can have, according to Hans Selye, the #1 stress specialist in America, the healthiest of all human emotions is gratitude. I said, you go down that list. I like my job. I love my job, rather. That is a way of gratitude. You'll sleep better the first night. Tomorrow morning, when you get up, get back in front of the mirror just before you go to work. Get back in front of the mirror and repeat the process again with excitement and enthusiasm. I love my job because, and take the list with you. Because the reality is, you see, you will have started to change from a fault finder to a good finder. Some people do really find fault like there's a reward for it. They really do. Take the list with you, and you will be able to add to that list, absolutely guaranteed. Do this every morning and every night, and you will have an astonishing recovery from this advanced case of stinking thinking. Now, I didn't say that to her, but I'm saying it to you. That's what it was. It was an advanced case of stinking thinking. Well, 6 weeks later, I was back in Birmingham, Alabama. I was doing a follow-up sales seminar. Now, the lady was not in sales, but she had been listening to my tapes. She had been listening to Automobile University, and she had discovered that everybody sells. Everybody who will ever hear this is in selling. Whether you're a school teacher, a civil service worker, a military personnel, an executive secretary, it doesn't make any difference. What you do, you sell every day of your life. There she was at the sales seminar, seated on the front row, grinning so wide she could have eaten a banana sideways. I'm telling you, you're talking about somebody that was excited. She was turned on. I said, well, how you done? She grinned even more broadly and said, Mr. Ziegler, I'm doing wonderfully well, and thank you for asking. She said, you cannot believe how much those people down there have changed. I got to lay it on the line, folks. You're not going to change anybody else till you change you. Everything really does begin with you. Now, you see, the unfortunate thing, this lady had been raised in a very negative environment. First, her parents had told her that she'd never amount to anything. They had said, you know, you're always late, you're always sloppy, why can't you be like your brother or your sister or whatever? When she got married, her husband had continued it, and so her self-talk had become completely negative. Everything that she said about herself was negative. Like Dad said, I'll never amount to anything. Or like my husband says, I can't do anything right. But when she started changing the input, then some radical change.
What's up, Fire Nation? Another bonus episode coming your way. This one was a great chat. I had a lot of fun with Terry Wilson. Terry is a serial entrepreneur who offers entrepreneurs and solopreneurs the tools, training, and technology needed to earn and enjoy more. For the past 13 years, he's helped thousands of hungry individuals discover their thing, develop the skills to do it, and be given a strategy to deliver it to market and produce value. Terry has a weekly podcast that can be heard on iTunes, Stitcher, and at terrywilson3.com. He also wrote a book called You Are Worth More, which you can check out at youareworthmorebook.com. We have a lot of fun in this episode, Fire Nation. I truly hope you enjoy. It's hard. It is hard work to achieve uncommon success. But you know what else is hard, Terry? being broke.
You better believe that.
Living paycheck to paycheck, not being able to support your loved ones, not being able to support yourself, not being able to get up in the morning and do something that you want to do, but doing something you have to do. That's hard too. So Terry, my call to action for everybody here is choose your hard. Like back in 2012, it was hard. I spent 32 years of my life doing hard work and making the wrong decision on choosing my hard. I was going down the wrong path. I wasn't having any success. But then I flipped it and I said, you know what? Building this business, Entrepreneurs on Fire, it's going to be hard work. But the alternative is hard too. So I choose the hard of building a life of freedom, of building a life of choice, of building a life of uncommon success. And that's my call to action to everybody hearing our voices today. Choose your hard.
Choose your heart. Boy, I love that. You know, because there's a high cost of low living. And sometimes we think that, you know, we're just going to get out of this easy by taking the path of least resistance. And boy, sometimes the end of that path is just a tiger. I'm telling you, brother, I'm telling you.
Identify your big idea. Not be a weak, pale imitation of somebody else's big idea, which most people do. They're like, oh, look at what Terry's doing. He's so successful. Look what John's doing. I'll just copy them. And then you wonder why you fail, because you're a weak, pale imitation of those people and you will never win as a result. You need to come up with your big idea, your zone of fire, and wake up every day on fire, living that life. That is the life that you deserve. Because what at the end of the day do we really want? Freedom. The ability to wake up and do what we want, where we want to do it, with whom we want to do it with. If you have those three things, what more is there in life? And you can give yourself that gift. Just take it.
Which is identifying, why are you here? You know, I like to say it this way. You're not a cosmic accident. You didn't show up on planet Earth because lightning struck a mud puddle billions of years later and you crawled out. You're a significant person with a significant reason for being here. There's a reason for you to be here. And once you identify that big idea, as John just said it, life becomes, oh my gosh, becomes unimaginable. Give us go ahead.
Just on that point real quick. I mean, I think it's so key for people to understand this, like what Terry is just sharing. There is so much wisdom out there in this world, but there's also so much noise and it's chaotic. And sometimes it's so hard to really cut through all of this and to really get to the meat and potatoes, to really get down to what matters.
Does anyone know Terry's story, what Terry did?
I do.
So Terry sold musical instruments, sold pianos, right? And what was it? Was it 9/11 that created the problem?
Yeah.
9/11 creates a problem. Nobody wants to go. There's no money in town anymore. It's a brick and mortar store. Some woman comes up to him in church, some older woman, and she's like, I was thinking about your problem, and the Lord told me you should sell them on the computer. Sell your pianos on the computer. And Terry's like, that's a great idea. I got to get out of here because you're crazy. So, of course, he does it in that sweet way where he says, oh, bless your heart. And
Bless your
he
heart.
thinks about it. And then he's like, you know, he told me about the story about, you know, the guy, it's a flood and, you know, you should get out. No, the Lord's going to save me. And at the end, he goes to God and says, why didn't you save me? He's like, I did. You know, I tried. I sent you the news report. I sent you a helicopter. You know. So Terry takes that and he's like, God's telling me what to do here, right? So I should do. That was the message. I should sell these things online. His first thought when the woman tells him that is, how am I gonna, because she said her grandson sold CDs.
On eBay.
Yeah, Terry's like, how am I, you could just put them, I can't put a stamp on a piano. This is crazy.
Drop it in the mailbox.
Yeah, so next day, right? The next day he starts sells them out in a week. So he doesn't think about, he doesn't latch on to his idea of I can't ship these things cheaply, right? He just goes past that. He goes, well, what's my first solution? My first solution is I got to sell these things. That's all he's thinking about. He sells out his whole inventory in a week. Then the problem comes to him. How do I get rid of these things? I've now sold them. How do I deliver them? So what would you guys have done?
Hire a U-Haul and drive them out there.
Yeah, that's what Terry did. Terry got a truck and just was like, well, I'm gonna take my brother-in-law. We're gonna go around the country. We're going everywhere. And he delivered pianos for 2 weeks. That's amazing. And then, then he's like, and the next thing is I talked to someone.
Welcome to TerryWilson3.com.
Decade of helping others
Discover, develop, and monetize your skills and talents at TerryWilson3.com.
This is the Terry Wilson. Really, I'm excited, Terry. I want to get started.
You're the real deal, right? You're the genuine article.
Right now, Terry, I'm so inspired after listening to you for the last 25, 30 minutes to go back and do about 400 things. You got me so jazzed up.
I'm still blown away by your story.
When I think of Terry Wilson, I think about the comeback kid.
You're like a cousin or an uncle that I just want to hang out with.
Terry, you have made a huge impact in my life.
Can't possibly say enough good things about you except that I love you.
Here's your host, Terry Wilson.
Welcome, everybody, to episode 505 of the TW3 podcast. Today's topic, heroes are made, not born. Growing up, we're drawn to heroes. I think everybody is. I know, especially for young boys, we love superheroes. We're drawn to these individuals' abilities to help those in need, to accomplish seemingly impossible tasks, and to do it all for the greater good of their community, country, or even their world. Whether we are dreaming of imaginary mystical creations like Superman, Wonder Woman, Spider-Man, or other comic book characters, or we're becoming captivated by real-life people in sports, music, arts, entertainment, education, or public servants, there's one common denominator that both real and fictional heroes have, that they are made and they're not born. So tonight we're talking about that, what it takes to become a hero.
Does your credit suck?
Yeah.
Now for our sponsors.
Has your financial health been beat down like a redheaded stepchild?
Yes.
Get back and fix your credit. Why? Bad credit causes your interest to go way up on things you need, like a car, house, and most importantly, a product from TW3.
What?
So let our team of experts help you repair your credit today. Text credit repair to 864-507-9696. Again, that's credit repair to 864-507-9696. Speaking of bad credit, it's not just your credit.
Sponsor too.
It's not just your credit and reputation you should just consider. What about people you are hiring, recruiting, or considering to become a part of your organization or team?
Get it out. You can. I believe in you.
Sometimes knowing a little can help a lot. Protect your business and brand by doing a background check on those you are considering to invite to your community. Go to TerryWilson3.com/background. That's TerryWilson3.com/background. And do your due diligence on keeping your community, business, and organization safe and healthy.
I'm just going to say, would you have ever gotten hired had I done a thorough background check?
No.
I think that's where I've messed up. I just figured out from our own sponsorship where I have.
Where you failed?
I failed.
Well, that's like problem 2 that you have. Problem 1 was like nepotism. You know?
Well, yeah. Nepotism always gets in the way of a good business decision. Just ask them.
Doesn't it? Doesn't it? Tell me about it.
So we are talking about heroes tonight. They are made. They're not just born. And what it means to be a hero. And, the world needs heroes. We've always needed heroes, but my God, if there's ever been a time we need heroes, it's in our culture today. But before we get into the serious stuff, I just want to have some fun with this because we're all boys in here. Now, I don't think it's just a male thing. I think girls like heroes too. Their heroes come in on white horses and, the knights and all that and rescue, the
Alicia's a big fan of Mulan. She thinks she's a superhero. So.
Well, your mother has always had an affinity toward, that knight in shining armor coming in and rescuing and saving the day. But, guys, we grow up. So I just wanted to throw it around, well, what's a hero that you guys have had and you can think of immediately like, oh, yeah, that's my hero. And why is it your hero?
I was thinking about this the other day, just randomly. It's kind of coincidence. But I was thinking of like what it means to do good or what true kindness actually is. And I think true kindness is, to me, most commonly when you didn't have to do something and there was no gain from doing something that was good or positive for somebody else, and you did it anyway because you knew it would help them.
Right.
There's zero benefit for yourself, so it's a selfless act. And I think, there's a lot of people that do that. We could name people all day. I know growing up, I love Spider-Man. Spider-Man was my superhero. I was talking to you about it a little bit before the show.
Spider-Man's whole thing is he doesn't become Spider-Man until the thing happens for him. It's always Uncle Ben.
Right,
It's kind of the thing. But it's like he's always the guy that's his MO is he's always struggling. He's always behind on rent. He's always late. But
he's definitely relatable because it seems like life has got him under the thumb.
Yeah.
He's getting crapped on by his boss.
Mm-hmm. And the reason, though, that he's always late, the reason that he's always having relationship issues, the reason that he always has personal relationship issues, like not even outside of women, just friends and stuff, is because he's always being Spider-Man. He's always out there saving the day. He's always doing something. But the selfless act, this is where kindness comes in. And I was thinking about this unrelated to Spider-Man, but we're talking about superheroes.
Yeah.
And it's the fact that he doesn't tell people he's Spider-Man. And that's what makes it kindness. It's one thing to go, I couldn't make it. I'm a great superhero. I'm doing all this cool stuff. I know people that do a lot of cool stuff and then tell everybody they do all these great things.
Yeah.
Is it really kindness? You know? I think that's a good example of heroes.
I think it's great. Well, what do you think, River?
Wonder Woman.
She's
always been my hero. She's always been my hero.
Now, was this before Gal Gadot was casted as Wonder Woman?
Yes,
Just out of
was this
curiosity.
before or after?
Diana has always been.
What does that have to do with it?
Now, especially after Gal Gadot. But before Wonder Woman, I would just, she's just a great hero. She comes in and she has those like shing shing, those like wrist things. Or Superman. Superman is an honorable mention because he's strong, and I've always wanted to be like him. So.
Should we use some real world examples too?
Yeah, go right ahead. It's open. It can be fictional or real. It can be whatever.
People can be upset, but I'll take it on the chin. I like LeBron. I really do. I do. I like LeBron, but there's a reason. It's because from his start, and we can talk all about his interviews off the court. We can talk about his antics and how he receives it and stuff. But I've never seen a guy that consistently from entering the league always gets just these trash teammates, takes them really far, and then the counterpoint is he's got all the superstars. He should be winning. But I'm just looking. I'm like, that's leadership. That's good. He's taking all these not so great basketball players and taking them really far. And
he's the tour guide to dumpster fires.
But then in his press conference, he'll be like, hey, we're a team. Everybody did good. Austin Reeves is 19. He can't guard anybody, but he made 2 threes, and that was really helpful. It's like, I wish Austin Reeves could put a hand up, but whatever.
Yeah. That's good. I like that.
I think he's a good leader.
So that's why is Wonder Woman, that is, but why?
Okay, I see what you're saying. Why? Like you were saying, I don't have a beautiful anecdote like he does, but she is very selfless. I'm pretty sure she doesn't tell anybody, what she's doing.
Pretty sure. I don't know.
I think that's most of the fictional superheroes.
Didn't read the comic, but
I haven't watched it in a while.
I hear the book's better than the movie. But
who knows? But yeah, I think it's just a selfless, kindness, nothing to gain from it. I think all superheroes sort of have that thing in common where they don't have to do it, but they do.
All right. So you got a fictional, and you had a fictional and a real one.
Yeah.
What's a real hero that you know? It would not. You don't have to know personally, but LeBron's a real person.
While you're thinking, I'll do a quick shout out to Mr. John. Mr. John took a lot of bullets. He was a guy that worked at the place I worked at, and that place had a habit of you get in trouble for all kinds of silly stuff. I'm sure it's everywhere. Mr. John always did this really cool thing where he would just buy bullets randomly because he just didn't care. He was an older gentleman.
Yeah. Right.
He was retired. He was doing this for extra income. And so when there would be something up management's craw, he would a lot of times be like, that was me. I did it.
So he sort of fell on a grenade for everybody.
And I would look at him. I'd be like, I know you didn't do that. And he'd be like,
yeah,
but
they
going to fire me.
Right. He sort of took the bullet for everybody.
He's being a hero. He's like, I don't have to take this. He had nothing to gain from it. I mean,
he was basically protecting other people.
But he'd go, they'll probably quit. They need this job. I did that. That was my fault. I won't do it again. That type of thing.
Such a good guy.
Yeah.
I love that guy.
Selfless. It's just being a hero. It's a selfless act of kindness. You're looking to help other people. I think anytime you do that, you're a hero.
I like that. I like that.
There's a guy I used to work with. His name was Mr. Griffin. And he was also, I feel like I'm just stealing all of your.
No, go for it.
No, Mr. Griffin, he was the same way where he would like bite the bullet.
Oh.
That was mine. He was just very selfless. He always like helped people in need. He was just a really cool guy.
Yeah.
So shout out Mr. Griffin.
Shout out Mr. Griffin.
Mr. Griffin, Mr. John.
So
it's your turn. We gave you some superheroes. We gave you some personal anecdotes. I found a way to mention LeBron. People should really give him credit
I think
for
you
that.
just did that to dig at me, is what I think.
I think LeBron, if he needs a PR guy, I've been out here 4 years solid.
You've been applying for it for years.
Hey, man, come on now.
What are some superpowers you would want and why?
You're not going to give me your heroes before I pick my superpower?
I'll give you mine at the end.
It can be any superpower?
Yeah, what superpower would you like to have?
I'd like to be able to see 2 months in the future.
So you want
And
to
if
see
it has to be specific, I want to see 2 months in the future on the stock market.
I don't have to see everything. I just want to know what the market's doing.
I just need to know what's going to happen next week. Honestly, if you want to pull it back some, that's fine too. I need a week's notice. Just tell me what's going up, what's going down. I can help a lot of people if I can just get my portfolio.
I don't think you need but a day, to be honest with you, but you know.
That's a great question. But nah, flying maybe, super strength. I don't know.
I would mind. I've always loved this. I would love to know what people are thinking, like be inside their thoughts.
Yeah.
Because I feel like everybody, the biggest question is like, what are they thinking? You know, maybe not for everybody, but a lot of people are like, what are they thinking? If you could think what they're thinking, you would have a direct transcript of how to approach and manipulate this situation.
So you want it for sure manipulative. And you want to be able to see in the future simply for the financial gain.
Okay, the reason that Iron Man and Batman are able to help a bunch of people is because they have a lot of money. I don't have that much money. I could help them later on.
I hear you. So those are great stuff.
I want to hear yours though.
So there's 5. I'll let it out at the end here. There's 5 characteristics that Inc. magazine, and I sort of concur with these. They say these are the 5 characteristics of a hero. Number 1, courage. I know and sometimes people don't understand what courage is. Courage is not the absence of fear. It's like everybody's like, you're going to build up this courage and you'll never be afraid again. Actually, it's quite opposite. The more you know and the more you become aware of the dangers of life, the more, I think, for instance, I think if you're a fire person, you're a fire guy, and you go out and fight fires, I think your exposure to the dangers of fire probably heightens your level of fear and respect for fire.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
However, being around it and understanding how to fight it correctly, where to be at what time, what's safe, what's not, gives you the courage you need to fight that fire that you otherwise wouldn't have. So I don't think that courage is the absence of fear. I think courage is the actual resolve to run right into the most fearful thing.
Yeah.
I think you alluded to it early on, that selfless part. I think you can't be a hero if it's always about selfish gain, selfish things that you're going after. You even mentioned
immediately goes, anyway, I'd really like my stock portfolio to go.
I recognize that's a
favorite hero, Spider-Man.
But I'm not wanting to be a hero. I want to be rich.
Oh, but you asked me what I wanted. No, I don't want to be broke. I want to be rich.
Number 3, according to Inc., was humility. You know, no one likes, you know, it's very unbecoming to be around people that are beautiful or very talented, and they know it, and they put it in your face all the time.
Right. Yeah.
You know, the most attractive type of person, in my opinion, is that person who's really good, really attractive, really whatever, but they never even mention it. They don't
talk about it.
They don't talk about it. They even downplay it when it's brought up as an attention. It's anyway. I think that's a very attractive quality. Number 4, and this is the disqualifier for me, I feel like I'll never be a hero, is patience. They do have to be. Why does a hero have to be patient? Because you're going to be around people. Most people don't want to be a hero. Most people don't want to take the time, don't want to take the courage, don't want to take the humility, don't want to do the selfless acts. And once you develop those things in yourself, then you've got to be patient with other people that are not going to be all that. And 5th and finally is caring. You know, you got to be a caring person. I've got several heroes from everything, and the reason I've been reserved not to talk about it a lot is just because on this show we've talked all kinds of things I like, and so I've been reserved. But I'll bring up a real life hero of mine was my Uncle Dean.
That's a great example.
Wow.
Green Beret. Did a lot of things that he never talked about. And it wasn't until the latter part of his life we even knew some of the things that he was involved in Vietnam and had to do. And just, he didn't wear it on his shoulder. Most humble person you probably could ever meet. just a kind person, caring person, a person that was very courageous, selfless. He meets every one of
these categories.
He meets these categories and
flying colors.
Flying colors, and
it's not Dean passed away.
Yeah,
but this was something that everybody talked about Dean
before. Yeah. I mean,
since we've known Dean, everybody's like, if you had to mention that was my thing. If I had to mention the two kindest people I've ever met, it's my wife and Dean.
Yeah,
genuinely, like just
genuinely.
I don't think anybody's ever seen him be impatient in his life. Like he never got angry. Never. He was always patient.
Yep.
Just a
super caring
person, and just was the epitome of someone who would lay their life down for
literally.
And it was when we were all remembering him and his memory. It was his brother that got up and said, even in the war, it was like he was doing this for his country, but it was almost like, I've got to do this. It's my job, but I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that's that just speaks to the heart. Like, I'm committed to protect my country. Yeah. I'm a patriot. I'm going to do what it takes.
But he's still a human.
It doesn't mean I'm going to enjoy it.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean it. And so that speaks volume. So that's my hero, and that tees us up to what we're going to get into. She's coming on right now, coming in on the Zoom call, but she's going to be talking about real life heroes as well. Because I'm telling you, the marketplace, our business, our culture, our society, we all need heroes. And I say it's my admonition to everyone, stop waiting on one and become one. Because it's you can have a tremendous impact and effect in your market, in your business, in your community, if you'll just be committed to saying, I'm going to be the hero of this place here. So when we get back, we got Lisa Barrett. She's coming in, and we're going to be talking about some heroes that she works with. And I'm going to tell you, she's a hero herself, and you'll find out, and you'll hear it in this interview, I think, when we get back right after this. Chapter 1, the 4 words that changed everything. Another day, another dollar. I just clocked in and was super excited. I finally felt like an adult. For the first time in my life, I was working for someone that wasn't a family member.
Hi, I'm Haven, and Terry Wilson's my dad. And the reason why I think I like this is it teaches me not only to earn money and work when I get older, how to earn it. It also teaches me how my dad used to live in the past, what he did, what was his first job, the reason why he came into this podcast sphere. So that's why I think I like his podcast and this audiobook.
Get the audio version of You Are Worth More at coachwithtw3.com. That's coachwithtw3.com. Get the first 2 chapters for free.
Informative and entertaining content for the entrepreneur and small business owner.
And now back to our show with Terry Wilson.
Welcome back, everybody. You're listening to the TW3 podcast. Terry's next guest not only works with heroes, but actually is one herself. We got her on the phone, so I'm going to pitch it over to them, and let's catch up with them on their conversation here.
Reagan, and you're right. I've got Lisa Barrett from fathersvineyard.org on the phone with me tonight as we talk about heroes. She has started a wonderful ministry at my home church, Father's Vineyard, and she is actually over the military ministry there at Father's Vineyard. And you're going to love this, Lisa. It's so weird. This is just how the Lord works, I guess. I was watching Zero Dark 30 Friday night. Again, it's one of my favorite movies, along with A Few Good Men and a couple other things. And then I got into this documentary last night, And it just got me down this rabbit trail, where they said for God and country, Geronimo down. That was sort of the call signal. We got him, so I've sort of been in that mode all week, a little bit. And then last night before I went to bed, I watched my favorite movie of all time, A Few Good Men. And I don't know if I've ever told you this, but you remind me so much of Demi Moore and that courtroom scene where, I forget, the Pollock is his last name. He's a comedian, but he was playing the counselor beside Tom Cruise in that movie. And he just was sort of berating her, saying, why do you like them so much? And she just turned around and snapped him, and she said, because they stand on a wall. And they say, nothing's going to happen to you, not on my watch. And I've told Gina this. I don't know if I've ever told you. I says, Lisa to me is Demi Moore. Every time I see her, she stands up and she reminds us why we love our soldiers and why we should never forget. And then yesterday, Sunday, you got up and was reminding us what we do here, one of the ministries we do. And so I just wanted to bring you tonight to my audience and sort of let you share a little bit about what you're doing right now and why you're doing it and why it's so important.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, Terry. What we're doing right now is we are taking up a collection for our soldiers. I cannot say where these will be going to, but it is very, very cold where they are at. So we have 2 soldiers that are in our community. And again, they're serving, and we're taking up donations of hand warmers, lotion, Caramex. They wanted little Debbie cakes. What else? Cough drops, water packets, small things of mouthwash, things like that, so that they can get a little bit of comfort from home. They are over there serving our country, and we need to remember these men and women are still there. Just because they've moved troops out of the Middle East doesn't mean that there aren't still some there, and it doesn't mean that there aren't still some serving all around the world, locally, statewide, nationwide, and abroad. We have to remember those young men and women.
Absolutely. Absolutely. They truly are. Tonight we're talking about heroes, and you don't have to look far if you want to find a real life hero. Just look at a person, a man or woman in uniform, because they're out there and they're laying their lives down for you and I. And you've been doing this for how long now?
A little over 10 years.
A little over 10 years. You've been an advocate for active military people and making sure that they get care packages and get something from home. And one of the things that seems to be so effective and so meaningful, just from the reports I hear from you, is just simple letters from home.
Absolutely. Not all of us can give financially, but we can all give of our time. Number 1, to pray for them. And number 2, to sit down and write a letter of encouragement or just a simple thank you. We can do that for each and every person, that we come in contact with. It doesn't have to be someone who's serving overseas. We have men and women that are here locally that might be in the reserves or the Guard, and, they need to know our appreciation as well. Also, something as simple as when you see those veterans standing in line, they are so proud to wear their Vietnam veteran hat or Army veteran, Marine veteran, whatever it may be, for you just to acknowledge them and say, thank you for your service. You can even go so far as if you're at a restaurant, pay for their meal. If you're in the grocery store, pay for their groceries. Just take that time to acknowledge them because they've done so much for us. And we want them to know that they are honored, and we do, appreciate them, because without them, we wouldn't have the freedoms that we have today. And as you know, you can just turn on the news and you can see, some of our freedoms are slowly trying to slip away. And we have to continue to stand up as a nation for those freedoms.
Amen. And appreciate those who are literally standing up and taking literal bullets, not metaphorical, oh, someone was mean to me on social media bullets, but real bullets.
Right.
Yeah, I love it. So let's go through the list. What can my audience, if they want to, They want to help out. They want to get involved. What can they send? What should they send? I've got the address. It's coming up on the screen now, but for our audio listeners, the address is 724 Oakland Road, Spindale, North Carolina, 28160. 724 Oakland Road, Spindale, North Carolina, 28160. Of course, you can go to fathersvineyard.org and get that information there as well. But what are some things that folks can send because you're going to be putting care packages together, I understand, and be sending it out to these folks that are overseas right now in a very cold spot?
Right. Actually, I have a few things right here, but my computer at work would not cooperate. So these hand warmers that we have at Walmart, you get 2 packs for $5.72. They will go a long ways because there's 18 hours of heat in there. And they will truly appreciate being able to keep their hands or their feet warm because they can slip them down in their boots.
Now, 99% of the people hearing this are going to be on audio only. So if you would read that package for me one more time of what that is.
Absolutely. It's called Hot Hands.
Hot Hands.
And you can also get them Hot Hands. They're super warmer. This is a value pack at Walmart for $5.72. You can also get them at the dollar store. Sometimes your Dollar Tree will have them. You'll get just 1 pack for $1. So those hand warmers go a long ways. Also, Caremex, they can use that. There's a lot of different uses for that, not only for chapped lips, but for open wounds. I had one soldier tell me one time that he actually used it to grease his weapon, which I had never thought about. Yeah, so there's a lot of different uses for that, including chafed skin, and I'll leave it at that.
Understand.
Small bottles of mouthwash, small bottles of lotion, anything that's travel size. I know it's more expensive to do that, but they're portable when you do it that way. One of the things they specifically asked for was Little Debbie cakes. Of course, we all know this is Girl Scout cookie season. Girl Scout cookies would be very much appreciated.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Anybody likes a good Girl Scout cookie. What are you talking about? So if they want to send any of that, they can send it to Father's Vineyard, care of Lisa Barrett, or Military Ministry, either one. Send that to Father's Vineyard to 724 Oakland Road, Spindale, North Carolina, 28160. Of course, you can go on fathersvineyard.org and get all that information as well. And you can also include letters. If you just want to send a letter out to someone, you can do that. If you would like to do a financial contribution, I hear that you said the postage was how much to get 1 box out?
It's about $23 a box. We ship them if it fits, it ships, and we use the large boxes.
Okay.
So as long as I believe it's under 40 pounds, and we pack them to the gills, but as long as it fits, it ships, and they're about $23 a box.
Okay. So if you want to do a financial contribution, you can go to fathersvineyard.org and click on the contribution button there. 100% of the money that's collected is going right to
absolutely.
Yeah, there's no administration nonsense, none of that. It's 100%. Every dollar in goes out to this, and it is tax deductible, of course, if you go through the website there and want to contribute there as well. So, last question: why? You know, there's a lot of things that we all do. And I always, when I end a conversation with folks, and we've had people on here from the music industry to mindset coaching to business to ministry like you're doing, but I always like to end the conversation with this: why? Why? What motivated you to get involved with what you're doing?
Why? Well, ever since I was a little girl, I've had a deep love for the military. God never called me to serve, but he's called me to serve in this capacity. The why, a lot of times we forget that they're over there because it's not in the forefront of our mind. We want them to know they are not forgotten. A lot of times the morale is down because of things that are going on. These packages, I actually call them packages of hope because it does. It brings hope into their world. It brings light into their darkness. A lot of times when I get letters back, and I never expect a letter back, but they'll say, why would we do that? We don't even know them. We want to be the hands and feet of Christ, and we want to show them that we do love them, that we do appreciate them, and that they do matter. What they are doing makes a difference, and we don't ever need to forget that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's a amazing what a little bit of gratitude and a little bit of thinking of someone else will do for the world. I mean, you can literally change a world just by just offering just a little bit of thanks.
Absolutely.
It's
and I want to share one, Terry. Someone had came up to me yesterday at church. I'll probably get a little bit emotional. It doesn't matter the amount of the gift. It's the heart behind the gift. This young woman, she was either coming from work or going to work because she had her work uniform on. And she handed me a folded up dollar bill. And she said, "This is all that I have. It's not much, but it's all that I have." And that meant so much to me. That small gift is going to provide a tube of Carmex or Vaseline for their lips. And I'm telling you, whoever receives that particular Carmex or Vaseline is going to be so incredibly blessed. She gave out of what she had, not out of the abundance of, extra wealth that some of us can give. She literally gave all that she had. And that just blessed me so much.
I tell you, there's people like that and actions like that is what gives me hope. Just to be honest with you, because we are surrounded. There's just an incessant, nonstop droning of negativity, especially in the last several years with all of the I call it the pandemic, the politics, and the pandemonium that's just gone on. And when you see people respond that way, it gives me hope that we can, as a nation, as a people, pull out anything we want to if we'll just get our head out of our own problems, and I'll clean it up and start thinking and caring for, the good book says, give honor where honor is due. And I don't know of anybody more deserving of honor than a person, a man or woman, that would be willing to lay their life down for me and my family to be able to sit behind a microphone here and just talk all day for a living or do what I do. I enjoy my life, but it didn't come easy and it didn't come cheap and it didn't come because someone else didn't help. I mean, I didn't do all this myself. You're not driving down the road in your car for free without someone doing something to protect. I mean, so that's just, it's an amazing ministry, Lisa, that you do. I am honored to know you and to be associated with people of such caliber like you. So thank you so much. We are honoring our heroes. We're giving to our heroes, but I want to say on behalf of TW3, and I can say it on behalf of Father's Vineyard, you're a hero too.
Thank you, Terry. Thank you for allowing me to share.
Absolutely.
You're listening to TerryWilson3.com. Inspiring, informative, and entertaining content for the entrepreneur and small business owner.
And now back to our show with Terry Wilson.
So now it's time to take your questions. So let's go ahead and get into them. Our first question.
I liked it.
I liked it. That's
it
smooth.
Was
That's
just
smooth.
Slightly too much pause. It wasn't enough to where it was awkward, but just enough to where we went.
I wanted to do that. I like to be, what's it called? You never know what's coming up. Yes,
yeah, you added the suspense. It's very suspenseful.
Number one. What are some of the fastest ways to start earning money at TW3?
What's the fastest ways to start earning money at TW3? I've always said, sell it first. And the reason I say it sounds so self-serving, but I'll tell you why. There's something about stress that makes it difficult to learn. When you're in a stressful situation, your ability to absorb new information gets more and more limited, I think. I think that's why people do bad or poorly on test. I think sometimes people know a subject matter and then they get in front of a test and they start getting tested on it, and the anxiety, that test anxiety comes in and it just starts strangulating your mind's ability to think and be clear on your thoughts. And when you join a system like ours, there's so many different ways you can make money, and there's so many different tools to use. It's a lot of information. And so the best way to find success quickly is to become as focused as possible. And what I would say is focus on the easiest path from point A to point B.
Mm-hmm.
And we've got some funnels and tools and marketing assets and all of those things already created for you.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you might be in the water purification business. I don't have videos for water purification. I don't have a funnel set up for water purification. I don't have an email sequence set up for that. I don't have any of that. But I have all that set up for my business. And so you learn what I'm doing in my business. You use it as a template. You're going to start making money, which is going to cause you to relax more.
Yeah.
And in that relaxed state of mind, you're going to be able, oh, I see what he's doing here. So all I've got to do is duplicate it. But instead of selling this software or selling this or selling that, I replace that with this product here that I'm doing.
Yeah. Yeah. I also want it to be clear because in some of my sales calls, I think it can be taken a certain way when we say, what's the fastest way to start making money with TW3? And we go, oh, resell it, right?
Yeah.
Some people might hear that and go, well, of course you want us to resell it.
It sounds self-serving. I get it.
We get that, but pay attention to the question is, what's the fastest way to do it?
Fastest.
And literally by a time estimate, it's going to be faster for you to just turn around and sell these tools, especially for some of you guys that come from sales. And it's like you work in these markets, you're going to see a couple things that we're doing. You'll be like, oh, wait a minute. Oh, hold on. And then you'll have 3 or 4 guys that you know personally that could be using this, right? That's the fastest way you're going to make money. Like Terry was saying, it's going to take longer for you to go through our processes, see the templates that we've laid out for these different markets, and then adjust it to where it fits your market perfectly. You have all your forms. And here's the thing. We help you with that. We show you all of that stuff, but it takes time. It takes time to get all of that up and running.
And you're not earning money while you're learning that.
Right. And it could be a case where that's okay.
Which is fine if you've got the bandwidth to do it.
Exactly. We have a lot of guys that come from, they have a business already. They've already got income. They're buying our tools and they want to use our tools.
But here's the thing. Someone who's asking a question like that don't have the bandwidth.
That's typically the secret sauce.
If you're asking a question like that, you're telling me I'm motivated by earning money as quickly as possible. Yeah. So I'm going to tell you now, if you come to me and say, hey, I've got this $1 million product over here and it is just going to change the world and I'm super excited about it and I'm going to stay high profile. I don't want to be distracted by anything else because this is what I want to do. And how did your tools help me? We're going to have that conversation. I'm not going to talk to you about anything but that product. And
we do. You're in the process of doing something very much like that.
I'm doing that with 2 or 3 clients right now, you know, and we're not talking about, but that person there has got a business plan laid out. They have markers that they want to, and they're not necessarily looking for the fastest path to making $1. They're looking for how do I, as quickly as possible, make money with this right here that I'm focused on. That's all I'm going to do. And if it takes 6 months, a year and a half out, 2 years, that's fine because this is where we're headed. But that's a different conversation and that's a different question.
And that just comes down to our whole goal is to help you accomplish your goal.
That's exactly right. Great question there, River.
So, second question is, can the TW3 software work with an existing business I run?
No. All right, number 3.
Nope. It's just one of those products you buy to resell.
Yeah, I think we kind of pre-answered this and stuff.
Yeah,
but,
and plus we've answered that question. It seems like on every podcast.
But yes, short answer, yes. That's what we do, right? We're either offering you tools and solutions for a business that you already own to help you track, manage, and generate those leads, or we're giving you a product to sell that kind of does all that for you.
Let me ask you this. I'll piggyback on that because I got this via email the other day and it just didn't make the show notes. But one of the questions was, if you are a software company, you're a lead generation company, you're a marketing company, how are you trying to recruit in, let's say, the automobile sales space? What does one have to do with the other? We're not in a car business.
Everybody needs leads. Everybody needs to track and manage their leads.
So I'm going to push back on that. So are all you doing is advertising in the automobile space to recruit people to sell cars simply to try to sell them lead generation software?
No.
Okay, then how does it work? Because that was the tone of I'm playing devil's advocate.
Yeah. No, wait, what?
What?
Yeah. You don't know this? Yeah, no. Well, it's kind of like we have the tools that we use to track and manage leads already. We started with insurance. That was our original field. And I like to talk to guys about this because this is a big thing in today's market, right? Yeah. Everybody's very, very hypersensitive. You bring up business opportunity, and I get it. I'm also one of these people, guilty as charged, but you get a little hesitant.
Right.
You go, what are you trying to sell me?
Right.
What's the catch, right?
Right.
Well, with our business, there's a few big things that people need to keep in mind. Number one, our tools were used as what they are, tools first.
Yeah.
We didn't start this business going, how do we resell? How do we start?
That was not the idea.
Yeah. You literally could not be in an MLM. You couldn't be associated with any of that when you're doing insurance. So it's very pertinent that we're separated from that. We're not doing that. Not only because, moral obligations that we hold to, but also legal.
Right. It wasn't a philosophical decision. It was
exactly. It was after the tools started doing really, really well. We were generating leads. We were able to grow the insurance business, hit your insurance business, that we were able to go, hey, wait a minute. People would like to
stands to reason.
It stands to reason. Because, well, if people are going, so how much do I buy that for? And can I sell that? Yeah. Do you resell that? Because I got insurance guy, and then that, the doors start working. You go, right. I guess we could resell. So that's important to know. Second thing is we have referral marketing links, right?
Yes.
These cover a variety of industries in different ways too. Anywhere from insurance, like referrals, to loan links, to credit repair links, to mortgage links, to, you need an hourly or salary job. We got something, you need a car referral. Okay. We have these referral links. And if you're familiar with affiliate marketing, it's like that, but it's cooler. Okay. The way it works is instead of selling somebody something, instead of providing a link and they click on your link, and then if they buy something, you can get a little bit of a cut. What our companies are doing is they're going, hey, we don't care if they buy or not. We want the lead.
Right.
We're pretty sure we can close the lead.
We will pay you for that
lead. We
will
pay you money just for you to send them our way. Car places will do this. CarMax, Carvana. And so what happens a lot of times, this is what it looks like. A dealership will buy the system. They're using it to track and manage their clients that are coming in. They're using it to do their appointments. They're using it to set up their pages for the different cars that they have, right? Just like any other CRM. Has nothing to do with a business opportunity.
Right.
Let's say they get something. Let's say this is a local one, right?
Yeah.
They get somebody into their car business. They start talking about, they generated this traffic from their ad postings. They track the client through their CRM. Now they're talking to them about the car, right?
Right.
Maybe they're not interested in the car. Well, you have other cars that you can refer them to. Maybe they can't afford the car. Well, you have a loan link that you can apply for. Maybe that their credit's not good. Well, you have a credit repair link. That it doesn't matter what the solution is for them because you have it.
You've got everything.
So you can help every single person you're talking to, and it's profitable, which is a benefit for you. You're running a business, right? So when people go, well, you market all these different, different industries that you're working in. You're just trying to sell them. It's like, no, a lot of this time you don't even buy the system, right? It's literally a tool. That's all we're doing.
Well, this guy that sends me, he's like unemployed, but he's comes from the car business. He's used to car sales. The dealership he worked for, I get it. There no inventory, which less and less inventory, less and less sales, less and less sales demand, less and less sales people need. He's laid off. That's the situation.
Yep.
He's asking me, how are we recruiting unemployed car salespeople with our business? And what Reagan just explained in that explanation is we can put you back in the car business.
Yeah.
Because we've got these referral marketing partners from Carvana, CarMax, and several others that we've not even mentioned here. And you have our system. You generate leads with our system. You refer those leads over to these different companies. They pay you whether you sell anything or not. If you are in the car business, you probably know how to get inventory from other places and things. And if you don't, we can show you how to do that. And if you want to have physical cars there, you can do that as well. We can show you all of that.
Yeah.
So that's how and why it works. And in that little microcosm of an example.
Yeah, this is like you said, it's a small bit of the market.
This is this little example is how we are in Tons.
And here's the other thing that I think is really cool, because this is not something that I find typical, at least in a standard like brick and mortar store, right? Our tools and what we're doing is very valuable to the business owner. The guy that owns that dealership, he can use all of this for his employees. I mean, think about it. You've got pipelines where you could have each one of your car salesmen and what car they're selling and who it's going to. I mean, it's useful for the business owner. But I've talked to car guys that are just car salesmen. They're just guys on the car floor. And now, granted, take this with a grain of salt. Certain places you can't go do other stuff while you're working for them. I get that, and I'm not telling you to break your, NDA or whatever it is.
Whatever their policy is.
Whatever their policy is, adhere to it or change your field or do what you need to do. Make you work. But I've also talked to guys that it's a local shop, right? They don't care. They want you to sell cars. They don't give it. They want you to sell cars.
Care, right.
Yeah. So for those guys, it works just as well, because now you're a car salesman on the floor that's also doing your own marketing. You've also got other cars you can offer. You've also got loan links, credit repair links. You can track, manage. I'm like, if you're in a business, and especially if it's a structured business where there's other employees and you're the one guy that's tracking, managing, got solutions for every single client, dude, you are the guy.
You are the dealership.
You are the dealership.
Right.
And so when I'm talking to business owners, it's really cool. But when I'm talking to car guys, when I'm trying to get to them, I'm like,
do you see how you don't have to?
So valuable. You don't understand. You are the guy now.
Right.
Because if nobody else on your floor is using that, I'm telling you, it's the difference maker.
It is what sets you apart from just the worker piece.
It is.
But here again, here's a microcosm of one specific industry. But what we're telling you and teaching you and training our clients is how, if you want to continue to work for that dealership, great. Your value, your stock just went up. You've got leverage. Hey, hey, Bobby, the owner, for me to stick here and be happy, this is what I'm going to need, because as you can see, I've got so much more value. And then if I'm telling you, you only help yourself by becoming more valuable.
Here's the real way to work it. You work on the car floor and do your car sales that way on whatever days of the week that you're there, right?
Yeah.
When you go home at night, work the system.
That's
or
right.
When you're off day, work the system. Bring your income to where you're making more or just as much as you were at the car dealership. And that's when you go, hey guys, I'm actually making more money doing
We need
this.
to talk.
Let's combine these.
Let's have a business conversation.
And then you turn around and you make $15,000 because you just sold them an APS package to an entire deal. Like, I'm telling you guys.
I'm telling you,
there's ways to make
it does
money.
not do anything but to help you to know more, to have more, and to be able to influence more. It just, that's the name of the game. You put yourself in a position you never have to ask for a raise. You never have to ask for promotion. It's going to come to you. What do we need to do to keep you happy?
I think people learn the more and more that you can up your own value and wherever you're working. Do it. Up your value.
Right.
Oh, yeah. Our third question here is, would I need my current constant contact, account if I have TW3, and how do I pull data over to your system if I don't need it anymore?
Yeah, that's a great question. If you've got our system, our one system replaces about 15 different tools. You can go to terrywilson3.com, go to the homepage, click on Join Now in the top right-hand corner, and it's got this chart of mail systems, text systems, funnel creation. I mean, all these different tools that different people in different industries use, like Constant Contact. You don't need it anymore. And you literally are replacing $3,800 a month with software. And if you become a member, we give you this drastic discount, literally of $150. You're getting $3,800 worth of monthly bills of software, Constant Contact, WordPress, ClickFunnels, SMS tools. I mean, all of these different things that you've got, that's would.
Can I piggyback off you?
Yeah, please.
I mentioned it to a guy today because he had a great point. And this is the counterpoint, right? We'll play devil's advocate.
Please.
He was a car guy. He said, yeah, but these dealerships, they're oversaturated. Everybody's selling something. He's like, I've worked there years. And I'm like, that's true. That's true. Here's the difference. And I told him this. I said, the difference is everybody is selling a piece of different pieces of software, right, for an upsell. I said, here's where we come in. We packaged everything that they're doing. We made it cheaper. I can show you a price comparison page. This is what they're charging. This is what we'll charge. And we'll train you on how to use all of them. I was like, nobody else does that. Nobody
From
else
a technical component and a business component.
Right.
That's the other thing.
Right. So it's like, yes, there's other CRMs out there. There's other mailing lists.
Sure.
There's all kinds of tools and gadgets that you can get anywhere but here. Here's why we think we're valuable, right?
Right.
We're going to train you how to use it all. We're cheaper, and we bundle it all together. Okay, nobody else does that.
Nobody
else does that.
Yeah.
And if they do, we probably do it better. I don't know.
Well, if they do, we don't know about it. And here's the other thing: we've been around for quite a while.
Yeah.
You know, so but to round off that question, if you got Constant Contact, you don't need any more. What you do is you download all of that data as a CSV, which stands for comma separated variant. You download that into an Excel spreadsheet, and then once you do that, you send it over to support, and we upload it into your CRM and everything for you, so you don't ever have to worry about that anymore. So,
it's a good answer. Our fourth question here.
Well, I just made it up. So.
Well, it was a lie.
What does your top earners make who use your system?
What do our top earners make?
Oh yeah.
$500,000 or more. You know.
Yeah.
I would say.
I make about $2 million.
$2 million, yeah.
No, it's about $500,000.
$500,000 or more, yeah.
Yeah. That's spread out between.
That's spread out between several.
Yeah, a few people.
But that's what they do.
Like that's the average between those.
Yeah, that's the average.
Not a cumulative, but
right.
This is about what they're. Yeah.
You know, we've had some spike up at around 800. Mm-hmm. Some have dipped during COVID around 400.
Well, I think when you see entrepreneurs, you know, it's rarely consistent every year.
Yeah.
An entrepreneur,
exactly.
Well, the markets change, and so they change.
Different.
But you know, it's up and down. But the average is a little over $500,000. You know, and I respect that question in the fact that a lot of people that are motivated by high income, they want an opportunity that they can make some serious.
Exactly.
And so it's a serious. You're gonna make at a minimum $750 off of one of our packages. You're gonna make at a maximum. There is no lid on it because we used to say $750 to $18,000. We got members now that are making $750 to $150, $200,000 because of some of all this stuff off of one deal. So it's
entrepreneurialism.
It's entrepreneurialism.
It's the pros and cons. There's people that
big risk, big reward on some things.
Yeah.
We try to mitigate the risk. I don't think that's something we talk about a lot, but we do have a 90-day money made guarantee. We've never had to execute or pay out on that because, you know, and here's the way it works. Real simple. When you get our system at an elite member, you have to be an elite member. You get our system, you do what we say to do for 90 days. Now, it might take you a month to be able to get up fully operational to be able to do what we're telling you to do. But whenever you can get to the full operational status of I got my funnels created, I got my ad copies, I got all this stuff, and now I start in the start button. You do that and you generate a minimum results. We say you got to have this amount of leads. It's not a super amount. It's 100 leads a week, I think is what it is.
Which is like
nothing.
An ad or two.
Yeah. You do that. You run it through our system, okay, which is they're going to be followed up on. You're doing due diligence. We guarantee you minimum results. You know, it's just because it's a numbers game. I mean, this is not rocket science. It's just touching enough people the right way. You're going to see results. But if you buy a system, whether it be ours or anything else, let me just give you a little, you know, friendly advice. If you buy a tool and don't use it, you're not going to get any results. And I think so many times they hear a podcast, they see people making $500,000 or more a year. They see all of this hoopla, which is fine. It should motivate you. But what should keep you motivated is not just what you can look like if you go to the gym, but actually go to the gym and pick up the weight and feel the pain for a while. It's just, you know, it's just the way it is.
There's, you know, we all get motivated. We all are motivated
by different things.
By different things. I know I like, you know, it's shallow, but like I like money. I like status. Those are things that preemptively I'm aware of these things. But for some people, I think part of the problem is, especially in the business opportunity space, like I mentioned before, it can be tainted. But when you look at, some of our high earners and what they've invested versus what the return is, and then I look at just the things that are socially acceptable, right?
Right.
It is perfectly socially acceptable for me to go take out $60,000 of debt to get two more years of an education, $60,000, and the median income that I might make if I negotiate really well is $50,000, $60,000 a year. And I need to work that for about 10 to 15 years in a specific field, paying that off before they're going to up it to about $90,000, $100,000 a year. and I might work for somebody I like. I might. It's probably not true because
statistically speaking,
in my personality, I probably don't like them. So, but this is the reality. It's which side do you take? Now you look at something like this, and a lot of time I feel like we've done absolutely everything we can to offer, financially viable ways to get started. We're on top of the training and the support and everything that you would need to do this. We finance it in 3 different ways. We're working on redesigning our affiliate program so people can get started for free. And I'm just looking at that and I go, we're making the effort to make sure that people can get started.
Anybody that wants to
get started can get started. But it's entrepreneur. You're running your own business, and if that alone is
if you have a philosophical issue with that, then just don't.
Right. But we're not here to convince you.
But I'm like you. I mean, just look at the numbers. Just look at the raw numbers. Statistically speaking, how many people is happy with employment? Just statistically speaking. I don't know. Genuinely, I know like maybe 1 or 2 people from corporate to hourly or salary that actually enjoy what they're doing. If you believe the numbers that all of these poll companies are, it is abysmal. Yeah. Nobody is happy doing Nobody is happy working for the man. Mm-hmm. And no one's happy for being, and here's just, to me, it's just like you brought it up, but it's just like salt in the wound. Not only am I miserable working here, doing this for these people, but I'm paying this huge debt I had to pay to get here.
I'm sure some people will disagree. That's fine. It's a sham. Are you kidding me? Sometimes, not always. There are some people that are athletically gifted. There are some people that are very smart. And there's some people, I know them, and I'm trying to follow in their footsteps in some ways where they get scholarships just by a hard work and hustle, right? Sure. You can pay your way through college with, scholarships if you can find them and stuff. But I'm just saying, when as many people as I see go, oh, they're charging for this software program training and all these opportunities. That's a sham. But then I know that they've taken out $80,000 in debt for a degree that genuinely means nothing. So much little. Like
doctorate in basket weaving.
It's like your degree means not. I'm sorry. I've taken college classes. Yeah, everybody knows where Quizlet exists. You can look up the answers to your test. I'm sorry. It's a piece of damn paper. Are you kidding me? Like, stop. Why do we put so much weight on... Anyway, sorry, that's a little off topic. But, it's just like...
Well, I'll tell you something else.
You put so much work and effort into something like this.
And then here's the other thing. Let's look at other entrepreneurial opportunities.
Yeah.
Go look what it's going to cost you to buy a McDonald's.
Yeah.
Go look and tell me what does it cost to buy a McDonald's. And then show me the typical average income of that owner-operator. Give me a break.
Look, we can make qualms all day long about things that are wrong in corporate America. We can.
Yeah.
I love capitalism. It's got its problems. I would still argue it's better than the alternative.
It's not perfect.
But I'm just saying, it for some reason, the buck stops when we get to, hey, we have software you can sell for commission, or if you want to, use this tool. And then they go, this is such a scam. And then they go work for some guy that's making 4 times more than them while they're $200,000 in debt for the next 30 years. And I'm just like, okay, buddy. Sure. Yeah, I guess I am the idiot.
Yeah, I'm the idiot. Yeah. Forgive me.
Yeah. It's like, and look, there's a place for education. I think there's some fields where you have to be educated.
I'm not have it any other way. Have I ever advocated ignorance?
No. But all I'm saying is the amount of people that think degree equals...
Well, they've been conditioned.
Yeah.
And it's just a conditioning.
It just makes me sad because what it ultimately means is it's a pursuit of unhappiness.
It really is.
Because you see them now, it's like, it doesn't get better, dude. Like that's the dirty little secret. This doesn't get better.
It doesn't.
It gets much harder and worse.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Great question, River.
So our 5th question here, and this is a good one. I'm a truck driver, but want to get off the road. How can your sales system help me do this?
Oh, yeah. So the thing I love about our system, unlike any other, like you could go buy that McDonald's, you could go do this, you could go get involved with the pills, thrills, lotions, and potions. You could do all that. The thing I love about, just from a raw business opportunity, think about this. 90% to me, and I've been in business for myself since the late 90s. So that's the context of this content. So I've been an entrepreneur for a long time, and I only worked for people for about 5 years. And before I worked for them, I was an entrepreneur. So here's the deal. Unlike any other business I've ever been involved in or know about, you literally can be doing whatever you're doing, driving that truck, doing this day gig, whatever. You've got a system that is doing the work for you of 90% of a job, which is getting those qualified people to speak to. So literally, Reagan used to work here a few years ago, and he was in college. So he's in college, he's doing his college thing, but then he's coming home from school, and in his inbox is a calendar of people that have seen what it is he's selling, that has been educated on what he's selling, and they have decided, I want to speak to him. And then he's set up saying, okay, well, here's the times that I can speak because I've already got this other thing. You as a truck driver, all you got to be doing is using that system and driving leads right into, while you're on the road talking on the phone. So I love truck drivers because to me, it's one of those things where you could be double dipping. I'm getting paid for the mileage here. Yep. And then I'm building my business. And we've had several truck drivers get off the road because of just that model right there.
And when you say driving leads, I know a lot of people, this seems to be a follow-up question. It's like, what does that mean, driving leads? Are you just placing an ad? It's like, yes and no. For certain markets, we have a full data list with how many, 25 million, whatever. Yeah. It's
225 million consumer leads.
An absurd amount of leads that we have in a database for certain markets.
Right.
For other markets, that doesn't work quite as well. Yeah, you'll have to place an ad.
Right.
But what that looks like is, sure, anybody can place an ad. Anybody can just
but who's going to qualify? Hey.
But how do you know that they're going to click on your ad? How do you know that they're going to see your product before you speak? How do you know that they're gonna?
How do you know you even want to talk to them?
Exactly. It's like there's steps after the ad,
and there is systems.
We help with that,
right?
And so I just like to put it out there because I know a lot of guys go, "Well, place my own ads." It's like, well, go place your own ads. Go do it and see how it works.
Go place your own ad. Then talk to everybody that responds to it. Then tell them what are you going to sell them.
Yep.
And if you don't sell anything, can you make money?
Yep.
Because what we're talking about, you can play. Everybody sees us on Craigslist, and I think, well, I can place a Craigslist ad. Yep. Sure you can. Mm-hmm. But I'm telling you, someone that's been on Craigslist since 2011, you don't want to talk to about 95% of the people that respond on Craigslist.
That's why I'm always like, well, go place your Craigslist ad.
Go ahead. Try that.
I don't argue with them, but genuinely, though, it's because people that we talked to that guy the other day that from New York, and he was talking about his leads, and it's like he was also a Craigslist ad, believe it or not, but he was a great fit. But he also understood when I was telling them this. He was like, so you place the ads and stuff, but do you guys have like a CRM that can manage all this stuff? And typically, guys that own their own business, everybody knows you can place a damn Craigslist ad. That doesn't make you a coder, okay? That doesn't make you impressive. What makes you impressive is to be able to vet and track and manage all the data coming in.
Well, and be able to tell that client that you're on the phone with, did you get all of my texts? Yeah. Did you get all my email? Yeah. Did you see all those videos we sent you? Yeah. I didn't do any of that.
Right.
This is the first time I've even knew you existed.
So imagine, though, you did that with 300 people, okay? Instead of sending a personal email, a personal text, and you followed up what do you have it set? Every few hours?
Yeah, every few hours, yeah.
It's set to certain times, okay? If you do that, actually, because I've done that actually, it takes time.
It takes a long time.
I'll be honest. It's a pain in the ass.
And if you're wanting to be driving a truck.
Exactly. If you have other things you have to do, having a system that does all of that for you, all of it. And so the only thing you have to do is you wake up at 10 a.m. and go, oh, look, I got a call. Hey, Dave, how you doing today? Oh, you're in insurance? That's right. It's a great day.
Then to be able to offer Dave something if he's not a fit or doesn't want to buy or something, to be able to offer him something that he finds value in and you get paid. How are you going to do that?
Yep.
Who are you going to offer? Where do you get that? How do you get certified? If you even know where to go, how do you even get certified? Because they don't offer it to just everybody.
Well, that's what I tell people as well. Yeah. I'm like, no. And this is the fun part too. Everything that we have, you can go get yourself.
Yeah.
You can. It's going to be more expensive.
You're going to pay way more.
There's going to be no training.
Yeah.
And it's not put together.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. Yeah.
So
we're here for a reason. That's all I'm saying.
You can leverage 25 years of experience, or you can start your journey today.
Because genuinely, I know we're all being facetious. We're being a little bit of pricks about this, but it's because.
Well, it's just because
what we're doing.
We believe in what we do, and we do deal sometimes because we're dealing with a lot of people. They only see the surface.
Yeah.
Well, I can go to Facebook and place an ad. I can go to Google AdWords and buy keywords like we do. Yeah, I can go to Craigslist. I mean, we're all over the internet in different places, and anybody can do it.
We're not arguing that.
I can go buy my own CRM. I can go get MailChimp, get Response Aweber, and start an email sequence. Okay, great. What are you selling them?
Yep.
What are you offering them? What credibility do you have? Because I'm telling you, someone that started from nothing, my first 5 years was just convincing people that I was a real person. Good luck.
It's not easy.
Good luck with that. Good luck with that. Easy. It's there's more to it than just just an ad or anything like that.
There's a reason we've been in business for 13 years.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the music. That means we got to shut up.
I don't know what the reason is, but when we get back, we will talk about what is that reason. What has kept us here for 13 years, A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau, and not being a member, and still ticking, still kicking. We'll get back right after this. Earners are learners and leaders are readers. So if you want to go to the next level, you do have to grow to the next level. And that's why I offer free audiobooks at terrywilson3.com/free book. That's terrywilson3.com/free book. When you go over there, you're going to get to try the service out for 30 days free. No obligation. And you get a free audiobook just for checking it out at terrywilson3.com/free book.
And now back to our show with Terry Wilson.
All right. So we're back. I think it's been a great show.
Oh yeah. Sometimes I listen afterwards and I'll have the thought, man, that was a really good show. We did a great job. And then I'll listen afterwards and I go, I talk too much. I don't like the word.
I think you're talking just enough. I think you're doing good.
Had some valuable insight.
Yeah, some valuable. We get comments and everybody. Matter of fact, Miss Spelling Bee said he is really starting to, say something of value as opposed to what you've been doing for the last.
I'll tell you what it is. Here's what happened. My knee went out, and as soon as my knee went out, I went, man, I'm getting old. I gotta be good at something. So, I'm really trying this.
I think you've been on the phone. I mean, your chops have really improved because you're dealing with a lot of people.
I'm on the phone 7 hours a day. I could talk.
So you got your chops up. I mean, the sales side of this more. It used to be you were just dealing mostly with technical.
I will tell people that it's given me a little bit more of an attitude in a good way, but it's like before I think I was very, very sensitive to objections, right?
Yeah.
That's honestly what it is. It's the objections, and there's nothing wrong with having objections. A lot of times it's just not a fit, and we don't want you if it's not a fit for you,
right?
Yada, yada, yada. But it's also worn on my patience a little bit, just in the sense that you hear some of the excuses so many times, and if you answer the same excuse or objection, if they're genuine, it's one thing to go, I personally don't like business opportunities, and what I'm looking for in life is an education and a good paying job for the rest of my life. You tell me that, and I go, I'm really glad you know what you want out of life.
Well, that's self-awareness.
You're self-aware. You know what you want. I'm not going to waste your time. You have a great day. If you need anything, here's my number.
But it's the ones that don't know how to articulate that, and they have the attitude.
It's the ones that will, pardon my language.
You're recognizing patterns of what you're doing.
Yeah, and you see the certain people that they want the high income. They want none of the responsibility. They want they want to do nothing and make a lot of money.
Yeah.
And that's just not a reality.
And that's not just in business. That's in a lot of areas of life. And, this is like one of my personal goals, and we've alluded to it even on this podcast as far as, joining the conversation people are having in their head to try to, because you can't start them out at where you're wanting to speak because they're not in your head.
Yeah.
And I think the greatest, we're talking about superheroes and heroes. We talked about what superpower would you like? And we said flying. If I could pick one superpower, it's somehow to figure out how to magically communicate to people in a way that would help them get out of their own way. And communicate in a way that would help them see things from a different perspective, not necessarily change their mind. I don't ever want to tell somebody what to think. I really don't. I don't think it's right. But I do think it's actually a commission by my faith to, for me and for others, I'm not putting myself on any pedestal, but to constantly challenge how I think. Mm-hmm. Not what I think, but how. What is the logic I'm using here? And what's the fallacies within that logic? And being, you know, there's a passage of scripture over in Psalms that David says, and it's the most, and this good psychology. I mean, just really good psychology. And it's a very powerful, in my world, it's a prayer. If you're not a person of faith, maybe it's just a thought that you need to really meditate on. But the prayer is this: search me, O God, and let me know if there's any iniquities, any wrongdoings inside of me. What David is literally saying is, I am going to have the personal courage right now to face my shortcomings. I'm going to face the way I think about things, and I'm opening myself up to have any and everything that I hold as true to be examined, challenged, pushed back on, and if needed, to be discarded. That takes, because we all as human beings, when we're fearful, what we try to do is fortify our presuppositions, because I don't want to, because I'm already afraid. Yeah. So I know this thing, so leave me alone. Yeah. You know, but it takes courage, and we're talking about being heroes, and one of the characteristics of being a hero is having the courage. And if I could have one superpower, I would like to have the superpower to encourage people enough to be able to instill enough courage in them that would get them to the point that they would want, not because of me, but they would choose to have their own presuppositions challenged. And
cool thing about being courageous is you only got to do it once.
Yeah.
And you don't have to, you have to be courageous one time.
Just one time.
Just one time.
Just takes one time. Well, guys, we appreciate you being on the show tonight. We hope you got a lot out of it. If you got a lot out of tonight's show, do us a favor. Like, subscribe, share. Go to TerryWilson3.com/iTunes or TerryWilson3.com/podcast. Subscribe to our podcast. The way we get our message out of positivity, the way we get our message out of entrepreneurialism is people like you sharing it. We've been fortunate enough for over 13 and a half, going on 14 years, since 2008. We started podcasting, and this thing has just grown, and it's because people, for whatever reason, keep coming back.
And ratings help so much. If you could rate it, that helps us get into the new and noteworthy category.
Yes.
And that helps us tremendously.
Thank you. That's right. And now we don't ask enough of that, but if you could, if you get,
if you feel it in your heart, that would help.
If you feel it in your heart, listen, don't buy anything. Just go over there to TerryWilson3.com/iTunes and give us a 5-star rating and say something nice about River. You don't even have to say anything nice about me. You know, say it about River.
Or say it's something that doesn't even exist. Like they talk about vacuums really well. Just anything.
Yeah. I loved your episode on rainbow vacuum cleaners.
Yeah.
You guys asked. Now I will do the reverse. You won't do it.
You won't. You won't.
You won't do it. You won't. You don't have it in you.
You're not going to do
chicken.
it.
You're chicken.
You won't do it.
You're chicken. You won't do it. You don't even know how to find it. Prove me wrong. Till next time.
Thank you for listening to our show today at TerryWilson3.com.
Get a free sample copy of the book You Are Worth More by going to TerryWilson3.com now.
If you would like more information on how we can take your money, your business, and your life to the next level, then please visit us online at TerryWilson3.com.